I am strong. Hi, everybody. 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕𝒔. Hi, everyone. How's everybody doing? I'm tired. It's been a long week, but thank God for strength. Hey, Mr. Ashley, how are you? Did you get my email? It's been a long week. It's been a marathon week, Monday through today. Finally, court every single day. It's not even funny. People were asking, why are you still doing criminal defense? Why are you still doing family law? Like you're because my main practice is immigration, right? Immigration is 90% of my practice. But for me, the criminal defense that I mostly do is appointed work by the state of Alabama. And hello, Mr. Shakur, how have you been? Where have you been? Um, and really, those are people when you get appointed, that means the state is paying you on behalf of the client. And basically, that means the person cannot pay you themselves. And so I see it as because they ain't paying as much. It's there's a whole committee trying to get lobbying for us to get more money from the state of Alabama. Is like, okay, yeah, y'all fine, that's okay. But for me, it is my way of doing semi pro bono work because I know that those people cannot afford attorneys. And that is still doing that and being available because the judges have to make sure you can represent the client. Talking of that, I have one case that I just got, so I have to put that here. Okay, that you're available to represent them and you want to take the case, and just to know that someone can advocate. I'm advocacy is just part of who I am, and so being able to advocate for someone else that really would not ordinarily be able to afford. I think I lost you there real brief on Instagram. Let me know if I'm back. Um, yeah, I lost you there a little bit on Instagram. Okay, hold on. Let me know if I'm okay. Technology. I may have to restart Instagram, so you'll have to bear with me. Okay, yeah. Okay, am I back on Instagram? Yeah. Illinois, yeah. So I might let me know if I'm back because I. Hey, Miss Johini, how are you? Um, am I back? Let's wait for the Instagram folks. Okay, perfect. Listen, I don't know. Um, but anyway, so just to know, like, there's a guy today that I know that if I have to put together all the work I have done for him from the time I got appointed on his case to him pleading into a program, deferred action program, where he gets a second chance. And once he's successful at that, he gets to have the charges dismissed. Because I usually do itemized billing, even for because you have to do it. And if I have to charge him by my rate, he won't pay. Everything I have done would not be less than 15,000. That's just the truth. But he cannot pay. He's on disability, so that's why I still do criminal defense. Because I get selfishly, I get the reward of knowing it's not selfish, but I get the reward of knowing that someone's life has been changed and given a second chance. And I tell my clients once I get on the case, I don't judge. It's not a judgment zone. That's still me, but I'm very assertive. I'll let you know if you ain't if you're not ready to change for yourself or your family, your member, or your kids. Don't waste my time. But anyway, it's been that kind of week, so I will sound tired a little bit because I am. I'm just getting back to reviewing stuff from my staff because they know I'm OCD. Thank you. And so they know that if she doesn't review it, we can't send it out. I may have to shake before. like, yeah. Like, okay. Because I emailed Carla earlier and told her, hey, email this to someone. And she came back and she was like, like, okay, like, Is that email from you or someone took over your buddy or something? I'm not a micromanager when my kids would beg to differ, but it's okay. It's all good. I asked my oldest son, is he going to marry someone like his mama? He said no. I said, why? He said, because you're just too much. But then he said, I won't change you for the world, though. Make up your mind, boy. But anyway, hi, everyone. This is Attorney Abisola Adibola Online. So let me just say this. Today is the last day for those who are sitting for the bar exam. If anyone is on here that took any of the state bar exams, congratulations. You just believe you're going to pass. I can tell you that once you leave that, I was looking at the Alabama. Oh, Lord, there's some things I would rather not do. You can't even pay me enough to do. One of that is writing the bar exam, let alone doing it twice like I did in Alabama, New York. And knock on wood, passed them both on the first try. Knock on wood again. That's God. When I saw the picture, it's a convention center they use in my state in Alabama, like a warehouse looking open space, and they have this gigantic clock that's bold in your face and silence. You literally leave the bar exam like there's no how I can pass that exam. Like, was that in English? Was that in English? Thank you, Raluki. Thank you very much. You will like that can't be in English. So if you took the bar exam, just believe that you will pass, that God's favor will show up for you. The next 2 months are probably going to be the longest 2 months of your entire life, but that's okay. It's all good. Anyway, I am an immigration attorney, and I am physically located in Alabama, representing immigration clients in all 50 states. However, someone's asking me, am I going to start an office? I'm trying to go mostly hybrid, where I'm not attached just to one place, but because I still share custody of my youngest son with his dad, I'm still here for a while. So that's the reality of my life, which I won't change for anything. You can contact us at 334-341-4475. Visit our website at olalayalawfirm.com. Send a WhatsApp message, the same number. And can I just say something? And you people, me, let's talk real talk. Can I just say something? I'm not the only one that, as a matter of fact, most of the time I would not respond to DMs or WhatsApp message because I cannot possibly do everything and still be able to review and do what I. Thank you, Illinois. I appreciate that. But when people send crazy DMs, it borders on harassment. So there's someone who today my staff was on Instagram and kept hammering, insisting that they have to speak with me. And yes, thank you, Illinois Sanctuary. In my state, in the state of Alabama, those actions make up harassment criminal charge. That's just what it is. And you're trying not to, so go to the extreme, but then I don't want my staff to feel, because she was just completely out of whack today. She was like, what did I do wrong? What? And then the person now went over to start texting us all day. So I told her, if that happens again, we're going to have to file a police complaint for harassment. And that, sometimes you just have to do what you have to do. Respect is a big thing. And sometimes people abuse. Everything is going to be abused, not just life. But I hope that, and I have zero tolerance for nonsense. Zero. And my space, I always say, is people don't know boundaries. My space, I always say, is a safe space, is a positive space. My work involves a lot of bad news just by itself. The 3 areas of practice of law that I do: immigration, criminal defense, and family law. They're riddled with bad news already. The last thing I need is to have anyone sit down and no, we just can't do it. So, or someone sent us, decided that was yesterday, sent a photo of body part. if y'all know what I mean. And it just so happened to be Lydia who was on the DMs, and she was like, what is going on? Like, people have to, I mean, it's a business. We're running the business. It's respect. And yeah, yes. I mean, we because then you forget I'm a lawyer. This is a law firm. So anything you send to me, it's that is evidence. I'm gonna keep it with your username and with your photo, because that was just really not the smartest thing, unless that's not the person's real photo. But it's already part of what I have in my file. And if you keep coming back, I will forward it to law enforcement, because that is harassment. That could actually be sexual harassment. But I just wanted to say out there, because it's getting, and it's a different thing if it's personal. Well, it's not like it's better, but if it's something where I don't have people who work for me who have to deal with that, it's very important. And then we start having throughout the day, we did not feel safe, even though we're like, okay, we know this number, but we don't know who is behind that number. So I just said, you know what, my front desk, nobody respond, just leave it alone. So we're just monitoring that, and if we have to file charges, then that's what we're going to have to do. Because the work that I do exposes us to people, which is okay. That's my passion, that's my calling. But unfortunately, there are people who do not know boundaries, and they just would abuse and become obsessed. But anyway, I say that to just get that out, because it's been a long week. The last thing I need is to deal with craziness. But once again, please contact us 334-341-4475. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 Immigration, for all platforms. So tonight, people, can we get some questions? I'm going to try and make it short because I really am tired, and my shoulder is getting better. I think the shot, it's just like, when you move your joint and you forget that it's hurting, and then it pinches a little bit. But thank you. Hi, Ms. Giwa. So I will try to take as many questions as I possibly can, but I'm probably going to shut down this weekend. It's mental wellness is very important. I don't even take it for granted. I don't care. That's deadlines to be met, but mental wellness is top priority. You cannot, I mean, and to your back, we don't see representing, okay? But anyway, let's talk immigration. So tonight we're talking about marrying a green card holder. I get that. I know I've said this so many times, but a lot of people still, we have questions. I had conversations today about the same issue. I was like, let's just make it another topic once again and clarify who is able to get a green card if you're married to a green card holder without having to leave the country. So, marrying a green card holder, can you get your green card if you're married to a green card holder and you have overstayed? That's the caveat. Is it still possible for you to apply for adjustment of status, meaning apply for your green card, while you are in the United States and your spouse is a permanent resident, green card holder? Short answer is no. However, there are exceptions to every rule. By the way, so if you know anyone who is planning to come to the United States to apply for asylum at the border, you may want them let them know that sometimes it feels like we're back in the Trump administration, because the Biden administration is proposing a rule that is going to prevent immigrants who come through the U.S.-Mexico border from applying for asylum if they transit through countries and they did not apply for asylum in those countries. That's by the wayside. I'll talk about that sometime next week. So if you are in the country, you came in legally, but you have overstayed your visa or your authorized stay, the time frame of your I-94, and now you are looking to get your green card, permanent residency status through marriage to a green card holder, are you going to be able to adjust your status without having to leave the country? Short answer, no. And here's why. Spouses, minor children of green card holders who have overstayed are preference category relatives. You're not immediate relatives like relatives of citizens that are, spouses, parents, children, unmarried children under the age of 21. Immediate relatives of citizens are exempt from the unlawful stay as long as they had a legal entry. It doesn't matter how long they have overstayed. As long as they came in legally, they are exempt from that bar of you not able to get your green card if you have overstayed. Unfortunately, that does not apply to spouses of green card holders. If you've overstayed, then the general requirement is you will have to, once your I-130 has been approved, your CIs will have to apply for a waiver of the unlawful presence, 601A. And then you must have a qualified relative. And once that's been approved, then you have to leave the country and apply for your immigrant visa at the embassy because you are a preference category relative. Now, here is the exception, because to every rule there's an exception. I want to make sure if you don't know my 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 basically breaking, because that's what exceptions are. Like, okay, this is a law, but just in case that doesn't work for you, doesn't sit well for you, this is another way you can look at it, or this is a way out. Anyway, well, the way out is good. The law is, the exception is this: if you are married and you're married to a green card holder, and you have been subject to abuse at the hands of that green card holder's spouse, even if you came in illegally, and you've overstayed, as long as you're filing a 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓 self-petition green card, going through a 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓 self-petition green card process, then you will qualify for the exception of maintaining status if you're married to a green card holder in order to get your green card. Probably have confused everybody. So, example, a regular marriage case, someone comes in on a visitor visa, right? They come in January 2022. CBP gives them 6 months up until July 7, 2022. They overstay, and then come January 2023, they get married to a green card holder, and it's a regular marriage, everything is fine, and they're wondering, can I get my green card? And then let's assume, okay, now we're in March 2023. So it's more than 180 days. And they're wondering, okay, can I still get my green card in the country without having to leave? Short answer, no. Not only can they not do that, because now they have overstayed the time they were given to July 2022 on the I-94. In addition to that, because that person has now stayed beyond 180 days, they have triggered the 3-year bar. And so they would need to have a waiver of unlawful presence approved before they leave and apply for the immigrant visa at the embassy. So that's the general rule. Now, let me say this. If there are children involved, as long as the child is unmarried and under the age of 18, children that are unmarried under the age of 18 do not accrue unlawful presence. What does that mean? Unlike the spouse of this example that will need the waiver because they've now exceeded 180 days, if they have children who are under the age of 18, those children, even though they will not be able to apply for a green card in the country, they will not need a waiver of the unlawful presence because they're under the age of 18 and do not accrue unlawful presence. Okay, so that's just that. Now, the exception is this. Same scenario, right? It just so happens they got married last year. July was the end of I-94. We're past the 180 days. January 2023, things start to go really bad in the marriage. One of the spouses not being the spouse who married a green card holder without status is now being abused, and the abuse is at the hands of the one who has the green card. The immigrant non-documented spouse now has the option of filing a self-petition green card process, namely 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓. And because they are going through the domestic abuse petition, which is the 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓 petition, generally they would have been required to leave the country to get a green card. But the exception to that is filing a 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓 self-petition. You're exempt from the unlawful presence in admissibility rule. So that means that person will now be able to file for their green card without leaving the country, as well as include their children on the I-360, and those children as well will be able to file their own green cards. Everyone would not have to leave the country. That's the exception when it comes to marrying a green card holder and trying to get your green card through that marriage. Understand that the only people who are exempt from your lawful presence will be generally immediate relatives in the regular family-based petition. However, if you're filing vow, you're exempt from a lawful presence. If you're filing a cancellation removal, you're exempt. If you're filing for U visa, T visa, those humanitarian petitions, you're exempt. If you're filing asylum, you'll be exempt from a lawful presence. So I wanted to take time to explain that. I hope that helps. One of the consultations I had today, actually, she had been advised by, she thought it was a lawyer, but found it was an immigration consultant. She'd been advised by the person. She actually has a pending asylum case. The person told her that, yes, even though her husband is a green card holder, she will be able to apply for her green card without having to leave because she already filed for asylum before her status, well, before the end of her I-94 period. So long story short, they went for an interview. USCIS denied her I-45, approved I-130, but the I-45 was denied based on the fact that she doesn't have any legal status. Asylum is not legal status. It's authorizes you to stay, so it pauses you accruing a lawful presence. But unless you have a default fallback, not a non-immigrant status that is still valid, it's not it's not a status. So on that basis, she was denied, and she was surprised, like, why would they deny? So I explained all of this to her. She was like, that wasn't what she was told by the person that they hired. Like, well, there you have it. That's all she wrote, people. Okay, let's take some questions and we will call it a night. Let me get my eyes so I can see. Hello, Miss Christine. How are you? Hey, Miss Aya, how are you doing? Hello, Sanjay. Kesiana, I hope I haven't just murdered your name. I hope I haven't murdered your name. Kesiana. Okay. How many months will it take for employment authorization card to come out during the, if y'all ask me that question one more time, I'm really going to lose it. Like, for real. Hello, 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 worldwide. Biometrics doesn't really have anything to do with the time frame for your EAD. Okay, let's go to my TikTok people. What's going on, TikTok family? The only D. I'm doing good. How about yourself? Are you sure no interview marriage cases? I've never said there's no interview marriage cases. See, this is how thank you, Illinois Sanctuary. Watch previous videos because I've said it like God probably said it. This is how information gets misconstrued. I've never said there's no interview marriage cases. Because you have to show me a video where I said yes, they are waiving interviews in marriage cases. It's completely different from saying USCIS will not schedule interviews in marriage cases. And this is Rinku Sin Sam. So they're two different things. USCIS is waiving interview in marriage cases is completely different from saying they will not conduct marriage interview in marriage cases. So they are saying, there's an alert on the USCIS.gov website that you should try as much as possible to increase your chances of having your interview waived by submitting all your evidence, including your medical examination report, and as much bona fide evidence as possible to increase your chances of USCIS exercising the discretion to waive an interview. So that's different from the waiving interviews in all marriage cases. I hope that clarifies that. Okay. Let's see. And you put the question like 20 different, I'm counting because it's 20 different times. Why do people do things like this? Cali boy, filed in 400. I got approved. Congratulations. I received oath ceremony, but I got pulled for DUI. They canceled my oath ceremony. What should I do? Talk to a lawyer. That's what you need to do. So sorry about that. Can a felon number 3 year no bar can come back after 3? If you've left the United States, I don't handle cases after deportation at all. Yes, that wasn't respectful at all. But listen, how long does it take when petitioning for a married child? So if you visit my website or just type in visa bulletin in the Google search, it will bring up the Department of State's visa bulletin. So you would see how long it's taken for them to approve cases like that. Let's see. How long will it take if I want my parent to come to my graduation in the U.S.? How will they come? Are you a citizen? Are you going to file for them? Are they going to apply for visitor visa? I mean, that's just a broad question. Thank you, 𝒂𝒏𝒕. I appreciate that. How long does it take to get travel documents? So I'm seeing, once again, all this processing time, USCIS.gov/processing time will give you answers to those questions, because that's just where, that's the estimate. And a lot of people have those case trackers things, and I don't go by that. That's just me. I go by what USCIS does. But what I'm seeing that, for instance, there was an advanced pro that we filed December 19 or 20. And we got the approval today. He's actually got the approval today. So she's traveling, and she really wanted to go. I'm happy for her because she hasn't seen her daughter in 8 years. Well, you imagine losing my kids, and I mean, but the sacrifices that immigrants make, I'm telling you, God would not end. God would not let our stories end in failure, because we have made humongous sacrifices. 8 years not to see your child. 3 months to expire, 2 years green card extension. Didn't get conditional removal yet. Did you file it? You have to file it. They're not going to send you your green. You have to file to remove the condition. They don't automatically send it to you. Why my 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓 is not coming? It's been 31 months. What do you mean? Why is it not coming? What are you expecting? Why would you expect an RFE? A VAC case can actually be approved without an RFE. I have those done quite a number of times. Is it common to have RFE in VAC cases? Yeah, but it's not also uncommon. It's not uncommon to have them approved without one. I-45 approved. Congratulations. How long to receive? I don't know. How long? Okay. Alrighty. So anything about time frame? Yeah. Y'all can visit uscis.gov/processing times. Okay, let's see. I filed for my siblings, and it's more than 10 years. No letter yet. What next? Because it's taking them anywhere from 13 to 15 years to have siblings apply for immigrant visa. That's why it's the longest uh, wait in as far as the categories. You would think that if everyone else is considered an immediate relative of a citizen, meaning their spouses, their children, under the age of 21, their parents, why then differentiate their siblings and married or unmarried children over 21? And they have to be preference. I mean, that's just me. So I got asked for requests for medical examination. Will they waive my interview? Most likely. So, but I wouldn't say yes or no, because then you're going to come back and say, I said you're going to waive it. But most likely that's what's going on. Okay, let's see. Thank you, Alina. Can you file I-131 for your kids outside the U.S.? You're filing I-45 for. You can't file I-45 for someone who's outside the United States. I-45 is filed for someone by someone who is in the United States. So I'm not really sure I understand your question. How can you prove bona fide marriage if they live outside the U.S. and never live together? That's very common in marriages. Like a lot of people meet online now. There's nothing. I mean, going like here can go and well join online date tonight. Yeah, my yeah, me. They can want to join online date. Maybe I will find like, oh Lord, I would have to really be intentional about praying for for God's strength for anyone who's going to really take on the challenge of dealing with me. Because even my kids don't want to marry someone like me, even though they wouldn't change me for the world, because they're confused. They're just the most confused people. They wouldn't change anything about their mom, but they said their mom is too much, so they don't want a wife like their mom. But then, because my oldest wrote something, he wrote an essay for his advanced English class, and I was reading it. He sent it to me yesterday, and I was reading it. And you know how you're like, this because he's my kid, is my introverted kid, and you would think he doesn't pay attention to anything. And this kid described me, even going, this is like looking in the mirror. Like there's a part he says, that's he said something about, he called me nosy. He said she's nosy, but he said, but like many mothers, she's nosy, but I'm used to it. And then there's a part he said that because of her OCD, the house is always spotless and everything is in put. I have OCD. By the end of it, and she's a bit much. I mean, Lyndon described it today. And then, but at the end of it, he says, and I'm going to get him when he says, but I won't change her for anything in the world. They don't want to marry someone like me, but they won't change. So let's see. Maybe online dating would. Lord, we don't have the time. But yeah, Addie, a hair practitioner, they are watching. They for me, I always say that children don't do what you tell them. Children do what they see. They don't do what you tell. I mean, you can holler and holler. They probably would. They do what they see. Very, very important. And he is right there with me. Like this kid, knocking wood, he's a young adult, 18. But every single night, if there are dishes in the sink, because he knows his mom, we don't ever leave dishes in the sink. I've got too much OCD to have. I don't even use my dishwasher for what. I'm Nigerian food, just through and through. Dishwasher for me doesn't wash dishes the way it should. Please, somebody tell me that you're like me. My dishwasher is for drying dishes that are clean, not for washing it. Because if I don't scrub it, because African food that we make, no, you can't put it in dishwasher. It doesn't work that way. But anyway, if there's any dish in the sink, exactly right. Um, dishes he does everything. Make sure there's nothing in the sink because he knows that that takes that off my plate. Yeah, dishwasher is not just store it. Liz watermarks. I ain't doing it. No, that would even give me more issues. Okay, applied for. My husband filed for me 5 years now, and I passed my interview, and they're sending me home. I'm tired. Don't be tired. Don't give up. That's what they want you to do. Don't give up. That's when you fight. Do my children speak Yoruba? They're picking up on it, but they don't. Um, True story, funny story, but true story. There's a children's museum in our town, downtown here, and they have different. There's the section, but there's a section where like make around the world kind of thing. So there are voices of people of kids recorded on how you greet people in those countries. So Nigeria happens to be one of those countries, and TJ's voice, my 12-year-old, his voice is the one for the Yoruba language on that recording. And TJ, let me ask you, TJ, can't remember. I think it was good morning. Good morning. Hey baby, come. Do you remember come. Do you remember what words were you told to say? Don't show your face. Say hi to everybody. Look at my handsome 12-year-old. He's a good looking kid. If I do say, have you seen those eyebrows? Can you tell I'm obsessed with my kids? Did I wake you up, baby? Were you so What were the words you were told to that you have your voice in the children's museum? You remember the words? Do you even remember the language? What's the language? Huh? Yoruba. You tired? Okay, can I leave you? You want to go sleep? Yeah, he's tired. But do you remember the words? Never mind. But I think it was good morning, good afternoon, Baba. I don't know. Listen, but his voice is the one there, and it sounds funny because obviously he doesn't speak Yoruba language. But yeah. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, that's my youngest kid. I only have two. That's my baby. Applied for conditional removal, got 2 years extension. It would expire after 3 months. What should I do? So they should be sending you a 48-month extension if you have a pending case. If you don't get that within 30 days before that expires, make an InfoPass appointment. Now they're doing something new now that, yeah, he's not in the mood to socialize today. He's not. He's like, whatever. He's my kid. Like, if he's not in the mood for something, he does not. Like SJ, my oldest, my 18-year-old, well, he doesn't like to. He's very sarcastic, but he doesn't like to hurt your feelings. So he would look for a way. He's like, he's his father's child. They look for a way to be very diplomatic about it and say what they need to say without TJ his mother's child. That's all I'm saying. We don't know how to hide anything. And our birthdays are a day apart. So he's August 20, I'm August 21. Go figure. Like, okay. But make an InfoPass extension, and they're doing something that way. If you make an InfoPass appointment, they're probably going to email you and tell you they'll mail you an extension. I think one person got that already, but I'm not sure if all application centers are doing that now, but yeah. USCIS asked us to be proof that my marriage is real, but we didn't go for interview yet. Why? Because you probably did not submit anything at all to support your case. So if they're trying to, they will do that, especially if they're trying to give you a chance to provide a bona fide, and that may increase your chances of having your interview waived. So go ahead and give them what they're asking for. Can an F1 CPT apply for national interest waiver? Anyone can. I mean, if you qualify for national interest, if you believe you qualify for national interest waiver, then you can. But I would suggest you. National interest waiver is basically an employment route option where you, rather than have an employer sponsor you for a green card, you file your own self petition. And you have to show that you have the qualifications and just summarizing the specific requirements. But in a nutshell, that you have the qualifications, that you have the what's the word I'm looking for? You're established in a way where you can carry out that's what you plan to do. And you're going to be doing something in a field that is of national importance, that basically the U.S. economy will benefit from it. And all you're doing in national interest waiver is you're saying that rather than make you go look for a U.S. employer to offer you a job and go through the perm application process, rather than do that, you have the qualifications and you're in a field that is of importance enough to bypass the Department of Labor process, because that by itself can take 2 years. And then they're the matter of the NASAR is the case law that has the requirements, and you have to have at the very minimum exceptional ability, but the easiest route is advanced degree, which is the first part of it. So, but it would be best for you to sit down with a lawyer to discuss your case and see if you qualify. Okay, I think I have. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anyone's. Okay, let's see. Okay, all right, let's go to Instagram. I look stressed. I'm tired. See, I'm literally, it's been a long week. Every single day I have had to go to court. And even this morning, because my oldest usually would take his brother, but if I'm going to court, I'm heading to the office early, I would take him. And last night he was like, no, I got him tomorrow morning. You just go to court. Like, I got him. Like, you look worn out. I got him. And he's heading to college in the fall. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself, because he helps me out a lot. So yeah, I know I look tired tonight. It's okay. Rabio, for my bond case, they approved it already, and they asked for medical now. Is it a good sign? That shows, yeah, it's a good sign. That shows they're working on your green card application. Okay. Thank you, Ralucci. I appreciate that. Can you have them mention your name? Especially you're using, because I know a lot of people use different usernames that are not your real names on. Illinois Sanctuary, we need to meet. I'm telling you, your love is just exceptional. I appreciate that. I'm humbled by it. Do you think it's possible for J1 visa holder to make it to green card or waiver? If you're subject to the 2-year home residency rule, then you want to start with a waiver process. Yeah. But obviously, of course, it's possible to make it to green card. Let's see. Okay, watch for those videos. How do I send in my question? You type it in the comment section here. Okay. I filed for my under 18 daughter since 2019 and have not gotten any response, though I'm still a green card holder on extension, waiting for my 10 years approval. Can that be the reason for the delay? That shouldn't be the reason for the delay. Sometimes it may be, especially they if there's something in your case that is making them take a pause. But this is just general information disclaimer. Can't speak to your specific case. So, is there any way someone can expedite asylum case? You could expedite any kind of case, but the question is, do you have the do you first of all, is your asylum package solid enough right now? Number one. Number two, do you have grounds to justify expediting your interview? When is a good time to apply for the 10-year green card after getting the tiers? Should you wait till it expires or do it on the last year? There are very specific, and this is snufty. There's very specific requirements for filing the petition to remove the conditions in your residency. You have to do it before the expiration of the 2-year green card, and you can file it within 90 days before that expires. If you are filing a self petition, however, meaning either based on divorce, abuse, or extreme hardship or death, you don't have to wait 2 years after that. Break my nose. Thank you, Illinois Sanctuary. Yeah. So that's there you go. How certain is national interest waiver applications? Very, very uncertain. It's people always ask me what's the chances. I've had people who we've had really, really strong qualifications, researcher, and they send an RFE. And then I've had I wouldn't say the profession, but it was the case. I just really did not even think it was going to be possible. Nothing is impossible with God. We already know that, but it was like it's a very, very weak case approved. There's nothing certain about anything at all, especially when it comes to immigration. But national interest waiver, there's nothing certain about it. Could you please advise on what you do if one finds that their divorce decree from Nigeria is invalid after approval of green card? I can tell you what you do. If you say it's not valid, so I can't advise you to do anything not valid. If it's not valid, then it's not valid. But the only thing I would say to watch out for is that may potentially come up when you apply for citizenship, because they would have to go back and make sure you were actually eligible to apply for the green card at the time you did. I know. I'm obsessed with my kids. Now, they might get it twisted. Those kids know what their mama don't play. Like, I remember, I think I've said this story before. This was like 2 years ago or 3 years. He was playing his PlayStation game with one of his friends, and the kid can whine. This friend can whine like you whine your brain out, and he kept whining and whining. And he goes, "Dude, you can't leave. You can't leave with my mom. She's Nigerian, and kids don't whine in Nigeria." Said that could be boy, it is something yajic, but but yeah, mama voice me. I mean, what can I do? If you put an aluminum foil into the dishwasher, would not leave watermarks. Okay, Miss Shohini, I just don't think dishwasher can live up to my hands. I just don't think so. I don't need, get in. I mean, there's some things there's some Nigerian food like for instance, if I make my jollof rice, it's gonna be rice, man. Stick more pot at the end. Even it doesn't matter whether it's non-stick. No, if you've been using it for a while, it becomes stick. You gotta let that sit for a while after you eat all the bottom from the jollof rice. Dishwasher ain't gonna wash that. No, I'm not doing it. Like my dishwasher, if you open my dishwasher, you can still smell it and it smells new because I've never used it. Besides when I moved in the house and they clean that, it houses clean dishes. That's it. Um, After you receive your green card approval letter, when do you receive your green card notice? Welcome notice. That's subjective. That's objective. I should say that I can't answer that question. I do work with asylum cases. Yes, I sure do. I should be, Mr. Healy, hopefully by the end of the month. No, I take that back. First week in March, because I have a couple immigration court hearings coming up. Virgos are great people. I'm not a Virgo. I'm Leo. Have you met me? Okay. Do you work in asylum cases from all African countries? I work in asylum cases from all countries. I don't. I'm primarily represent Caribbeans and Africans, but it doesn't matter where you're from. Can I expedite asylum case based on medical condition? You could try. Yeah. Yeah, boy, mom. Oh, I kneel. Okay, let me go back real quick too, and then we'll call it a night. Send me your information 334-341-4475. No, he's tired. You can tell he's had enough, and it's 10 o'clock. He usually 10:30 he's knocked out. Especially when you play basketball and you play soccer. He is always on the go. Um, can you get a green card through marriage after applying for asylum? Short answer, yes. Hey, Mr. Taryn, I sent you an email. Check your email. I really enjoyed being in your live program. Very informative. Thank you. Found about case last year in May. That's why I like to be here. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Okay. Hello, Mr. Joseph. How are you? All right, people. You can tell I'm tired tonight. I'm doing okay. As good as I can. Um, what is the next step after receiving extra 48 months? They would either decide to waive your interview or schedule you for an interview. That's what the next step is. Does the new Biden rule apply on people who cross the border already? No. So that's what I was talking about earlier on. It's just going to kick. It hasn't kicked in yet. So that's why I'm not seeing much about it. It hasn't kicked in yet. So when it does, but I can't even believe that they're bringing that on under this administration. Like when I read it 2 days ago, I was like, what? Like seriously? Oh well. Even if you live in different states, can you still represent someone? I represent immigration clients in any state. Thank you, Abena. Oh, I think I saw an email from you. I was in court when I saw it. So give me till Saturday. Yeah, okay. So yeah, give me till Saturday. But I represent immigration clients, which is really something in all states. Yep, like Illinois said the same thing in any state. If you retain my service and pay me, then you're welcome, Abena. I will. I think in the meantime, go ahead and send me what you already have, because just attach it and send it to me again. Yeah, and then we'll do the other one. All right, people. I don't have all my energy tonight because even Cecilia knows the limit. It's been a draining week. I ain't gonna sit here and lie. It has been a draining Monday through Thursday. Get up at 5 and not back home till like 5. It's been yeah. And then last night we went to the soccer banquet for my kid. It's tomorrow I have my doctor's appointment to do MRI on this stuff, so we'll see. Yeah, it's just been one of those weeks that it happens, but it's all good. It doesn't. It won't bring my spirit down because Yeah, but I just sometimes you not sometimes you've got to listen to your body. If your body tells you shut it down, take a mental break and shut it down, then you've got to do that. You just have to. So I think that's what this weekend is going to be about. Shutting it down. Can I file for adjustment of status with a pending I-130? Generally, yes, but I don't know about your case, but that's general information you can. But anyway, thank you everyone for joining me tonight. I appreciate that. I need a vacation. That's what I need. I need to go back to London. Just go because I just woke up like I'm going to London. That's what I need to do. But I have too much work. I have my paralegals. I'm telling you, I don't even know what I would do without my team. But we thank God that you guys trust us enough. But I've got too much going on. But yeah, I got to shut it down sometimes. But anyway, as we go into the weekend, let's go knowing that as you know, a lot of people tonight are saying approvals and all that, and that is just amazing hearing stories of lives being changed. And so that means that the same God who did it for them is still the same God that will do it for each and every one of us. It's just that it's going to be at different times. So don't give up. Just hold on. Someone said, I'm tired, I'm going home. Don't go home. You've come too far to now just drop everything and say you give up. Then everything you have done would have been in vain. That's what the devil wants. The devil wants you to, and I believe strongly in when you are closest to your breakthrough, it's when things start to look the hardest. But keep in mind that because it starts to look the hardest does not mean it is impossible. There is no record of failure with God. I've yet to see who is going to, stand and say God has failed. No, it's impossible. The only thing impossible in this world is for God to fail. That's the one impossibility that you can count on, that God cannot fail. So just don't give up. Keep holding on. There are many, many people who are in your life who are rooting for you. There's some who want you to see you fall on your face. That's okay. It's not about them. It's about you. It's about the covenant you have with God. And he has brought you here. Has brought each and every one of us. I've been there, done that. Got to the point of saying, you know what? Go later, not your bad, so yeah. But yeah. But he never fails. He does not fail. God does not fail. He never fails. So just keep trusting, keep believing. That's what I know. That is my faith. I'm not imposing that on anyone. I just know that what has worked for me all my 44 years on this earth, what will continue to work for me, and what I would continue to believe in and draw power from. Because there's nothing I can do as a human being. There's nothing, no power that I have as someone who was made from dust. But when he breathes his breath upon me, and I know who, the Bible says, I lift up my eyes to the hills where my help comes from. My help comes from God, that creator who made heavens and earth. He spoke me into existence. He spoke us into existence. He hasn't spoken us into existence for nothing. I refuse to believe that we will come this far and not achieve that which he has placed us on earth to do. Where we have found ourselves is not coincidental, it's not accidental, it is intentional. And it may look like it's taking a while, it may look like all things are coming against you, but just keep holding on. Just keep holding on and just get up each day saying, it's yet another day. It's yet another day where my blessings, I'm getting closer to my blessings. And, once you believe it in here, it begins to manifest. If you manifest defeat in here, that's what's going to happen. So thank you everyone for joining me each and every time. I appreciate it. I don't take it for granted. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.